What's your excuse today? You don't have enough time? You don't have enough energy? You don't have enough money? Are you too tired? You didn't get enough sleep? Is that what's really stopping you? Or is what's stopping you, you?
There's something out there I know that you want. The real question is, how bad do you want it? And what are you willing to do to get it?
I don't think people really understand the power that they possess on a daily basis.
You don't decide when you're born, you don't decide when you die, but you got a whole lot to do with that in-between stuff. Listen to me.
There will become a time when you will have to realize that you got to put in the work, and you got to understand that if you're gonna do it, you better do it with the right attitude.
Magic is going to start to happen, baby. You'll start to move forward and achieve that thing. You'll start to lose weight. You'll start to look better, feel better. You'll start respecting yourself more. You'll start carrying yourself differently and think that you can take on the fucking world.
Your dreams aren't going to come true on their own, so it's time to get to work. If you want to be something you've never been, you need to do something you've never done.
The future is very expensive and it requires sacrifice now. Can you depart from instant gratification and suffer now?
You got something within that you want, and I already know that. Because I already know you can. But my question to you young people this summer, will you? I already know what you're capable of doing, but my question is, will you reach your potential?
Now, it's true that we all make mistakes, and we will have many setbacks. But there's always room for a comeback. To understand this, you must realize that you must humble yourself, but yet be hungry enough.
No one will define me, and no one will tell me who and what I am and can be. Belief will change my world. It has moved continents, it has moved countries, it has put man on the moon, and it will carry me through this battle. Who am I? I am a champion.
I got 3 words for you. Shut it down. Log out of the social media. Get off the internet. Unplug and evaluate where you are and where you're supposed to be. You got one life to live. The question is, why are you here? And what are you going to do about it? Because the truth of the matter is, you have survived the greatest traumas of your life. Life has hit you. Life has knocked you to the ground. There are people that have tried to bury you alive, and you survived. So I need you to disappear for 30 days. I need you to disappear for just 1 month.
Don't worry about the prize. You worry about the process. You don't decide when you're born. You don't decide when you die, but you got a whole lot to do with that in-between stuff. Listen to me.
Whatever you put your heart to do, whatever you put your mind to do, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, I don't care if you don't have no support. With me, you alone, we can get this thing done, baby, all right? Who am I talking to? I'm talking to that person that's tired of where they are, and you are bold enough, you are crazy enough, you are courageous enough to shut it down for 30 days.
The window of opportunity and sometimes the window of life, it closes quickly, and so I need you to do me a huge favor, man. I need you to get busy living.
The future is very expensive and it requires sacrifice now. Can you depart from instant gratification and suffer now that you live the rest of your life a champion?
All you need to get where you're going, you already got it, right? You already have it. All I need you to do is believe in yourself.
Disappear for 30 days. Come back and shock the world. Can you identify what has kept you broken? What has kept you broke? What has kept you defeated? What has kept you covered under the blankets of anxiety and stress and overwhelm? but you're trying to make business moves with people that don't think like you. They don't walk like you. They don't sacrifice like you. They're not willing to put in the blood, the sweat, the tears behind closed doors. A man is rewarded in public for what he does in private. I need you to disappear for the next 30 days. What does that look like? 720 hours dedicated to the future. I need you to disappear for 30 days. Just 30 days. Can you walk away for 30 days? Can you silence the doubters for 30 days? Can you tell everybody to be quiet for 30 days so you can focus on you? Who you are today has gotten you as far as you're going to get. If you're going to get any further, you got to reinvent yourself. And if you're going to reinvent yourself, you've got to shut it down for 30 days.
I need you to pursue it. I need you to go get it, all right? I need you to go get it. Don't wait for it to come to you, all right? Greatness is not going to come knock on your door. There's some opportunity that's not going to come knock on your door. You got to go get them. Without even knowing you, if you're watching me, I already know you got something within that you wanted. I already know that. Because I already know you can. But my question to you young people this summer, will you? I already know what you're capable of doing, but my question is, will you reach your potential?
You've been too focused on who was not there for you and who did not believe in you and the people that just said it but didn't do it. You've been too focused on that. The trauma, the anxiety, and I'm wondering if you can begin to shift that focus in the next 30 days, if you can begin to shift that focus on what's working in your life, what's within your control and not what's outside of your control. What can you control? Who can you influence? The first person that needs to be influenced in your life is you. It's you. You can't lead anybody. You can't go anywhere unless you have awakened yourself on the inside to follow a specific plan. Write it out. I need you to disappear for 30 days.
Listen to me very closely. It is no shame in wanting to quit, all right? No shame in wanting to quit. Let me just real quick, let me be honest with you. Let me be transparent with you. I'm saying this school stuff is killing me. Like, it's cramping my style. And I just, for a second, y'all, can I just be transparent? I was like, I can't stand school right now. I got one more stats class to go to be finished with my coursework for the PhD. And I'm telling y'all, I was like, I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to give up. It ain't no shame in thinking about quitting. It ain't no shame. It ain't no shame in getting tired. It's no shame in feeling burnt out. It's no shame. But the trick is, don't just think about it. Say to yourself, I got to rethink it and get this thought out of my mind. Why? Because the shame is in quitting. So if you thought about it, ain't nothing wrong with that, boo. Don't let that thought become a reality, all right?
3 words for you. Shut it down. We cannot have the future without revelation. We need to see how far we are from where we're supposed to be. Once you shut it down, you'll be able to diagnose, you'll be able to examine, you'll be able to repair the roads. You still keep trying to walk into your future fractured, broken, hurting. You need to walk into your future whole.
You can decide the quality of your life, all right? Listen to me. You are not a victim. Okay, nope, I can't decide how I was born. Nope, I can't say when I die. What you can do is you can control all that stuff in between.
And I know you're broken, and I know you're tired, and I know you're weary, and I know you're confused, and I know that you've got questions, and I know you're fractured, and I know you're bleeding in places nobody can see. But if you shut it down, you can heal. You're standing at the precipice, the edge of the greatest move in your life, and the time is now like never before to take a leap of faith. It takes faith to jump off of the edge. It takes faith to step into your purpose. It takes faith to step into your destiny. It takes faith to pull away from everything that is familiar, to step into uncharted territory, to become the person you were born to be. It takes faith. Can you disappear for 30 days? Put in the work. Examine what you've written. Think over the things you've discussed with people. Go through the process. Go through the mud. Inhale. Exhale. I know it's cold on the other side, but it's time for you to cross over because you're too comfortable.
A lot of people talking about what they're gonna do. But how many of y'all today are gonna decide to do it? I want you to write, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. I'm a king. Are you a king? Or a queen? I'm just asking. Are you in the gym? Are you doing anything to walk towards your goals of being in shape, more focused, getting an A+ on those tests? Are you training as hard as you know you're supposed to be training to make the team or stay on the team?
You worked your ass off. You got up at 6 a.m. in the morning. You decided to stay in your college dorm and not party, drink, smoke, and get high. You decided to focus and get away from all of the distractions so that you can pass that bar exam and that test. You decided to focus so that you can get a high test grade on your SAT scores and end up going to college to play sports, football, basketball, or anything that your college degrees allowed you to do and become. You decided to focus and get it done. You sacrificed all of the fun, the perks, and all of the fun shit you could have been doing because you were that focused on getting out of your own way, breaking the cycle, breaking the devil cycle of your own family and your surroundings.
I decided to love myself enough to want better, desire better, and seek better, and move in the direction of something better. What is the next level of you? Are you done? Are you done evolving? That shit that you accomplished was 5 years ago. It's over. You're still alive. You getting on your knees every night and you praying, but then you getting off of your knees and ain't doing shit. You can't get points today for yesterday's game. I don't give a fuck how much money is in my account. I'm gonna make a statement every day. I wanna become the things that I see. Go get it. If you got a problem with your life and your career, stop complaining about it. You spend so much time on your knees are bleeding. Get up off your knees and do the work. There is more to do. I don't care how much money I have in my pocket. I'm trying to be significant. Does anybody know how much money was in Martin Luther King's bank account? How much did Nelson Mandela have in his bank account before he died? He was significant. He made a statement. He lived his life with a sense of purpose. He was selfless. He wanted to make a difference in everybody's life and everybody he ever came in contact with. I refuse to be another man that lived and died and wasn't significant. Period. I love you. I repeat, I love you. If no one has ever told you this, if no one told you this today, this week, this month, this year, or this very second, I want you to know I love you. And I also want you to know that the fact that you're still alive and still on this earth, even though it's been challenging and rough, and sometimes you get discouraged and uninspired to keep going, God has a plan. You will grow through what you go through. Everything that you're going through, at some point, it makes no sense to you right now. But at some point, God is going to reveal to you why all of these issues, challenges, and problems continue to show up and what you were supposed to learn from it. You will grow through what you go through. It's time to do something significant. It's time to get up. It's time to get back into being significant. just woke up.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
What are you gonna do today to walk towards your goal? I'm just curious. I'm curious. How many text messages are gonna come through today where you respond and end up connecting with that person that can take you off your path? How much time and energy are you going to dedicate to your gift and your talent or your goal? How committed are you to producing results?
If you don't know, now you know. It's true. When you're ready to do something and try something new, that's out of your comfort zone, that's out of your norm, it's always the one you're dating, the one you're married to, the one that's in your family, your friends in your immediate circle, that will always try and talk you out of doing something special and significant. Do you know how many people have had visions, ideas, and huge career moves that they were about to make, and they allowed the word no to stop them? Boldly walk into the room with your head held up high, and if they don't get it, laugh about it. Don't disown your ideas because they're disowning your ideas. Don't lose confidence in your ideas because they don't have confidence in your ideas. Don't be afraid to walk into the unfamiliar. Don't be afraid to do what's deep inside of you to do. You got gifts, you got talents, you got capabilities, you got inventions, you got all of these things that you need to unleash on the world. You don't have money, you may not have the financial resources, but don't allow your visions and ideas to be stifled because of what's in your bank account or not.
And something inside of you made you say that even though I grew up in this situation, I'm still gonna work and be a better man or a woman. I'm still gonna do whatever I have to do to break the cycle. I'm still gonna decide that I love myself enough to do better, bigger, and more significant things. But it takes a very strong-minded person to decide that because I was born into this, doesn't mean that this is going to define the outcome of what my life and purpose on this earth is destined to be.
I see what's not there. I have visions. My visions are bold and unapologetic.
You know, they say you got to think out of the box. In my mind, there is no box. To have ideas and visions and dreams, and then to do any means necessary to see to it that the vision come to life. Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible. And then there's even more power to be able to see what doesn't exist and then to be able to articulate it and verbalize it. Just keeping your minds and your spirits open to the possibilities.
I'm telling you, stop being afraid of the unfamiliar.
You don't get to choose how you start in this life, but you do get to choose what you do. Real greatness isn't determined by some birthright or fate. Real greatness is determined by what you do with the hand that you're dealt. So what are you going to do? Sit there, do nothing, complain, be a victim? Is that really what you want? want to be mediocre? No one, and I mean no person on this earth, has ever woken up and said, I just want to be mediocre. So what are you going to do about it? Do you want to coast through life without fulfilling the potential that lives within you? Do you really want to wake up one day and realize that all of the dreams you have had have passed you by? Each one of us has dreams and we have passions. We have things that we want to accomplish. Maybe it's a better job. Maybe it's to be more fit. Maybe it's to have a better relationship with our children or our spouse. Either way, there's something out there I know that you want. The real question is, how bad do you want it, and what are you willing to do to get it?
Normal, regular people just like you and me can do extraordinary things.
I don't think greatness is something you're born with, some mysterious power bestowed upon us by God. It's something that truly exists in everyone.
At some point in time, the egg hatches. At some point in time, your wings have to go out and you have to fly out on your own. You can't be carried for the rest of your life.
You made it this far because something kept you going. Something kept you believing. Something helped you to understand that the fight was not over yet. If you put your right hand on your heart right now, you can feel that blood pumping. You can feel that purpose. You can feel that reason.
There's nothing that I couldn't get up from. We're really strong. We're just being sold that we're not.
You know, you want to be a little bit better in some way tomorrow than you are today, but it's not going to be in a linear path. You have to really do the work. Like, you have to back it with hard work. You know, and if you ask Conor McGregor, like, what's the secret to his success? Hard work, hard work, hard work.
Your dreams aren't going to come true on their own, so it's time to get to work. It's not going to be easy. Great things never get dropped in your lap, and they never start from comfort zones. If you want to be something you've never been, you need to do something you've never done. You'll be faced with difficult situations. There'll be times that you don't believe in your ability to persevere. There'll be times you feel incapable of rising to meet the challenges that face you. You'll be tempted to turn your back and run, but running is never the best option. When you're in the middle of a struggle, the only way out is through. Rather than running away from obstacles or trying to figure out some kind of way around them, go right through them. Brace yourself, steady your nerves, and tackle whatever you face head on. Those voices in your head telling you to turn back, telling you that they'll fail, shut them the hell up. But I've failed in the past. I fell flat on my face. Listen to me. You can't have a better tomorrow if you're too busy thinking about yesterday. Once the past has taught you everything you need to know, then let it go. Your past doesn't define you. Regardless of what has happened in the past, today is a brand new day. You can always start fresh. You can write a new chapter, or you can choose to write an entire new book. Once you learn to let go of the past, then you can truly start living in the moment. Don't trip over what's in front of you because you're too busy looking behind you. We all have a choice when it comes to building our future. But I don't feel like I'm good enough. Feelings are not facts. Feelings may feel real. You may believe your feelings are real, but they aren't, and feelings lie. Don't make a permanent decision for your temporary emotion. Don't make promises when you're happy. Don't reply when you're angry. Don't make decisions when you're sad. Waiting until you gain control of your emotions may save you from making a decision you'll greatly regret later. But what about the people telling me to quit? Just like your feelings, them too. Never, ever, ever let a person who gave up on their dreams talk you out of yours. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only person who has the right to tell you that you can't do something is you. Just because others have failed, it doesn't mean that you're going to fail. Just because others gave up, it doesn't mean you're going to give up. Just because others didn't have the strength to fight for what they believe in, it doesn't mean that you'll fall to the same weakness. Go after what you want and go after what you believe in. Listen to the person who matters most. You know who that is? It's you. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start believing in what could go right. There may be a million reasons you're afraid to follow your dreams, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't go after what your heart desires. Even if the odds are stacked against you, it doesn't mean you won't be successful. There's no obstacle that you can't overcome if you want something badly enough. The greater the challenges you face, the greater the miracles you'll create. Now that you've shut down the negative voices, it's time to focus. You'll defeat the person you were yesterday. The person you need to compete with the most is the old you. Today, you're going to train harder than that person. You're going to eat better than that person, sleep better than that person. You're going to read and educate yourself and become smarter than that person. You're going to live more than that person. You know their strengths, you know their weaknesses, you know them all too well. They're the old you, and there's nothing they can do to stop you. How do I know you'll be successful? Success isn't about greatness. It's about consistency. No one's born great. Greatness is something that is earned through consistency. If you show up day after day and work hard, if you give your full effort, if you leave nothing on the table, then greatness and success will come. The true secret of success is to accept the truth that the only path is the path of hard work and productivity. You'll get where you want to go and achieve your goals if you follow 4 simple rules. Show up, work hard, don't quit, and ask some questions along the way. Everything in this life is earned. There's no such thing as a free lunch, so go earn yours. But it's going to hurt. I want it to hurt. Pain leads to power, struggle leads to strength. If there was a pill that could fulfill your dreams without effort, would you take it? If you could buy what you want for 3 easy payments of $9.99, would you buy it? I wouldn't. I've seen how genuine hard work and effort changes people from the inside out. Through a cycle of struggle, hard work, and then success, something happens to a person, not only physically, but psychologically. You become confident inside out. That kind of confidence doesn't wash off in the shower. The effect stays with you. The confidence you gain stays with you. The feeling of success stays with you. The more you struggle and the more you have to work for what you want, the longer those feelings last. The easy path never brings a reward you really want. Nothing in life should come easily, and if it does, you don't want it because chances are it comes with a catch. I've tried before, but my last plan didn't work. If plan A doesn't work, there are 25 more letters in the alphabet. Even the most successful have had their share of failures and missteps. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is that the ones who accomplished their goals never quit. If they failed on the first attempt, they tried again. If they failed on the second attempt, they tried again. There are people who failed 15 times before they got it right. Don't let failure get you down or dissuade you from continuing to pursue your goal. There's no rule in life that says you can only try once. Learn from your failure and try again. Eventually you'll get it right no matter how many times you fall down. Do you think when a baby's learning to walk, it sits down after its first fall and says, maybe this isn't for me? The only time you truly fail is when you quit. So believe in yourself. Place a bet on yourself. The true secret of success is to believe in yourself. Be daring, be bold, and don't be afraid to go places that others fear. There is something greater inside you than any obstacle you'll ever face. Remember that a bird sitting on a branch is never afraid of the branch breaking because the bird's trust is not on that branch, but in its own wings. Do it now, do it today. Don't wait until tomorrow, and don't wait for someday. There are 7 days in the week. Someday isn't one of them.
9 years ago, man, I did this, and I would encourage some of you too. I took a piece of paper and I wrote down my dreams and my goals, and I slapped it on a bathroom mirror. And every single day I would wake up and I would look at it. And I said, every choice that I make, every decision that I make, I'm going to bounce it off. Is that going to help my dream become real, or is it going to help destroy my dream? And if the choices that I'm making are helping my dream, that's the choice for me. But if the choices we're making are destroying our dreams, that's not the choice for you. You have to learn to become mission, goal, dream oriented and not in the moment impulsive oriented. It's like when you look in a rear view mirror. When you look in the rear view mirror, the words read, things in the mirror are closer than they appear. And I need every one of you young men and young ladies to understand that your dreams and your goals, they're right there in front of you. They are closer than you can imagine or even think about or dream. They're right there. I don't care if you're the 7th grader up to the senior right now. What you want to become and what you want to achieve, it's right there. Things in the mirror are closer than they appear. And the doctor, the teacher, the scientist, the cardiologist, the cosmetologist, the athlete, the entertainer, the musician, whatever it is that you want to become, it's right there in front of you. But the choices and the decisions that we make are going to matter. And we've got to stop letting the opinions of people that don't really value you and what they think about you hold you back from breaking free and running at this thing with everything that you've got, man. Because the dreams, all of those things, they're right there in front of you. But it's the choices and the decisions that we make. These are the currencies that are going to purchase that dream. Decisions are currency that purchases those dreams. Prioritizing your life is the currency that purchases those dreams. What you do is what's going to matter. And some of you got to stop playing and start recognizing that this is your moment. Don't you dare give yourself away for something that you're not because you want to fit in. Don't do it. Don't you dare do it. I know these are real issues and you're wrestling through life, man, and you're trying to figure out up and down and left and right and where am I going? I'm telling you guys, you're at a place right now on this day, in this month, in this school that I'm talking to you that you can realize something. This is your moment to change. This is your moment to realize you don't have to do or be what anybody else thinks of you, what anybody else expects you to be. You can be you. And you can become what you want to become. So those dreams and goals that some of you have that may seem larger than life, good. That's what I want you to go after. And don't let the fear of the failure, don't let the fear of perfection hold you back. You won't be perfect. You will make mistakes. But I promise you this, you're never going to know if you can sink or if you can swim unless you jump in the water. Your world, this journey is a beautiful picture. Every one of you are drawing a picture with your life. You're the artist. Your hands and your feet are the paintbrushes. And the choices and decisions you're making right now are the paint strokes. You can paint whatever picture you want to paint. You can become whatever you want to become. But your choices and decisions that you're making right now matter. If I could slow down and make choices that build and don't destroy, if I could make choices that grow and don't tear down, if I could learn to feed positivity and starve negativity, man, my life could change because hard work works, make good choices, break things happen. Hard work, I'm sorry, there's no way around it. Hard work works. We can't cut corners. Every A isn't an A. And I say that, and what I mean is you can jump on Google if you want to just to get the answer, but you're not robbing your teachers, you're not robbing your parents, you're not robbing the school. The only person that you're robbing is you because you're trying to take the shortcuts. Not every A is an A. Hard work works. And the great thing about hard work, especially in our culture, our world is lazy. Everybody will talk about it, everybody will post about it, but not too many people want to do it. And if you will just find the courage to begin to chase your dream, to make choices that build, to put in the work by default, instantly, because most people are lazy, you separate yourself from the crowd because everybody talks and posts, but not too many people want to roll up and go. Hard work will always outwork talented people that don't want to work hard. You can control you. You can't control what they think of you. You can't control what they're doing, but you can control you. And hard work will always outwork talented people that really don't want to work hard. Every one of you, no matter where you're at on the spectrum of this journey of life, you can absolutely take your life with full authority and become whatever you want to become, man. Diamonds aren't made beautifully. Diamonds are from coal and from pressure and from heat. And it takes an immense amount of stuff, and from that dirt and from those coal mines and from all of the dangers of that struggle and that stress to something amazing happen, man. Some of you have been going through a lot. Some things have been intentional. Some things are just things that you were dealt with in life that you had no control over. But what I'm telling you, regardless of what the circumstance is and what you've been going through, there is beauty in the ashes, man. It's not about us being perfect. It's not about you being perfect right now, but it's about progress. It's about growth. You know, failure is a beautiful thing because failures is where we learn to grow. Our character can get deeper, richer, more fuller of who we are as a person. Like, mistakes are okay. I'm not saying go out there and try to make mistakes and go try to fail, but this is a part of life. Every successful person you will ever come across has failed big, has failed often, but failure wasn't failure where they gave up. It was where they just learned what not to do and how they can go about it in a different way. They used every experience. How can this teach me about being a better person, to have better, to achieve better, to become better? Everything's going to be perspective as you guys grow up. Don't allow the pressures to overrun you where you start compromising who you are. As long as we're breathing, as long as we have breath in our lungs, there's hope for us to overcome, to persevere, and to push through any object, any obstacle, any adversity in our lives. Your dreams and your goals are not going to come easy. And if they're coming easy, you're not dreaming big enough. Literally, dreams and goals, they should take sacrifice, blood, sweat, tears, absolute, total focus of pushing yourself. And if dreams and goals are coming easy, I submit to you, it's time for you to ratchet up what you're going after because you can achieve more. Because without restraint, without struggle, without resistance, there's no growth. If I was a weightlifter, and if I wanted to get swole, right, and I wanted to be able to bench like 325 pounds, I couldn't go out there and lift just 150 pounds every single day over and over and over again and never think that I was going to get bigger. I would have to apply more weight, more resistance, more pressure, and push myself. Don't find yourself right now hitting the autopilot.
People in here right now have the capability and the mentality to make an impact in this world. To be of an epic proportion. That whatever you do and put your hands to, whatever foundation, whatever business field, and even if you have had a revelation and you want to go somewhere else in your life and your career, you have a capability to transforming this world. You guys have got to start thinking epic. You guys have got to start thinking outside of the box.
You can become whatever you want to become. But your choices and decisions that you're making right now matter.
You're listening to this because you want motivation, you want to be inspired. But my greatest fear is that you'll get motivated, you'll get inspired, and that'll just be a declining arc for a few minutes after you listen to this video that ends with you doing nothing. And what I want, what I really hope for, and the reason that I give myself over to making these so completely is I know some percentage of you on the other side of this will ultimately be prepared to take that first step. You will realize that the only thing that matters is action, and you will take that action. And it's in that action that your potential greatness waits. And as Martin Luther King said, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. You've just got to believe that you can learn. You don't have to believe that you're already capable of doing what you want. You don't have to believe that you can already build that thing that you dream. You don't have to believe that you already are extraordinary. You simply have to believe.
Get to the office at about 8 and begin my day. My dull, gray world was now full of color and life. The noise of the printer, replaced by the noises of nature.
That if you take that first step, you put yourself on a journey not of execution, you put yourself on a journey of learning so that you can execute. And that, when you understand that difference, that's when you really will be on that path to greatness. And that is the thing that I want for everybody listening to this. Please understand, the only thing you need to know is that you have to take the first step. Whatever the vision is that you have for your life, you absolutely can make it come true. And the process is very simple. The process is about learning. The process is about growing and getting better. It's about recognizing what you're not good at. It's about recognizing what you have to learn. It's about taking that first step on faith. On faith that you can get better. On faith that you can become the greatest of all time. And once you have that faith, once you know that simply being a human being puts you in this rare category of creature that can get better through pressure, through pain, through difficulty, through failure, those are the things that are going to be the building blocks of your success. But in order to begin on that road, in order to have your first glorious failure, you must first take that first step. So please, don't waste your time being motivated or inspired. Spend every second of your time moving forward. That's how you're going to get where you want to go.
Identity and values drive behavior. So if you want to make a change, you have to change your vision of who you are. You have to begin telling yourself a different narrative. And the narrative you tell yourself about yourself is everything.
Too many people get trapped, believing they're powerless over their circumstances. People talk about their troubles like they're happening to someone else, like they're a passive bystander in their own life, a spectator to their own problems. These people never take action because they see themselves as a victim. They feel that every situation is out of their control. And you want to know the dark secret? They like it that way because then they don't have to do anything.
And if you tell yourself that you're a scared, undereducated kid from Tacoma whose family has never accomplished anything, let me tell you what you will become. A scared, undereducated kid from Tacoma who never accomplishes anything, because that's what you believe. You tell yourself that story enough, and it will become real. But on the flip side, you could tell yourself a story of you're a learner. You learn faster than most people. You're willing to put in more work than most people. You're willing to read more books than most people. You're willing to spend an inhuman amount of time every day improving your mind simply by getting new ideas into the system. And that you will admit that you're wrong faster than anybody else, that you won't let your ego get in the way. And you tell yourself that story over and over and over. So when somebody comes and tells you how stupid you are, that you're just a dumb kid from Tacoma, you go, you're right, that's amazing. Thank you for pointing out that flaw, because now that I'm aware of it, I can improve it because I'm the learner. And once I switched my narrative to being the learner, it didn't matter where I started, it only mattered where I was trying to go. And as long as I had that clarity, then I could execute, because I believed I could do anything I set my mind to without limitation.
Every time we form a new opinion about who we are, we're right. Not because our opinions are based on fact or even shared by the people that know us best. Our opinions about ourselves are correct because every time we believe something about our identity, it becomes our reality. We are constantly, subconsciously creating the reality of our existence. So why not create it consciously? If you had the opportunity right now, in this moment, to create an entirely new reality for yourself, what would it look like? Which traits would the new you possess? How would you react under pressure? And how would you push yourself to learn and grow? And how would you push yourself to grow and get better? That person you're imagining, they're worth becoming. So get to know them. Get in the habit of thinking their thoughts, of seeing the world the way they see the world. Because when you do that, when you get deep inside their mind, when you see things the way they see things, then you're really just becoming your future self.
As Daniel Pink said, people fail to achieve mastery not because they aren't talented, but because they aren't disciplined. The wonderful news about the human condition is you can get good at anything that you set your mind to. It's just not going to be easy, and it's not going to be fast. But the willingness to put in that work is what's going to separate you from everybody else, and I'm begging you to see yourself right now, today, as average, as no better than anyone else. But I beg you, with more force than I know how to convey with this language, to see yourself as malleable, to see yourself as capable of becoming anything you want to become truly extraordinary, if you can find within yourself the discipline to stick with it long enough. And as Steve Martin said, perseverance is a great substitute for talent. Everybody wants to talk about who's talented. Everybody looks at the person with innate talent as if they have something magical. But to me, it's a gift, it's a handout, it's a freebie. It hasn't been earned. And no matter what it is, it's only the beginning. Even somebody that has talent, even if you get an early win, if you let somebody outwork you, if you let somebody who has more perseverance, more grit than you, then they are going to outperform you on a long enough timeline. The only thing I can guarantee is you will be outworked by somebody unless you pour your heart and soul into getting great. If you don't take days off, if you put yourself into it as if your life depended on it, when you act like that, then you've got a chance to be great. And as Robert Horry said, pressure can bust pipes, but it can also make diamonds. You've got to want that pressure. You've got to want things to be hard. You can't seek out the easy life. You can't just hope and pray that you can uncover inside of you some talent that's laid dormant that you didn't know about that's going to let things be easy for you. Don't want the easy. Want the hard. Want the pressure. Want the thing that's going to turn you into something. Because when it's easy, you don't work for it. When it's easy, you don't push. When it's easy, you get surpassed by the person who has to give it their all, who's prepared to do blood, sweat, and tears in order to become that thing that they want to be so badly because they are so fucking angry that they were never given anything. And with that chip on their shoulder, they're determined to become anything that they set their mind to. So whether you have talent, whether you don't, the only thing that matters is, will you persevere? Will you stick with it long enough to get great?
What will sometimes haunt my dreams still is just like a general feeling of morose anxiety.
Everyone experiences a version of anxiety or worry in their lives. I don't know why I opened up and talked about it, but I guess I was just sick and tired of just having it inside of me for 20 plus years, and I was ready to make a change.
What helped me the most, that I want to impress upon all of you, is that I realized that part of my identity is saying no to things I don't want to do. And you are all in school, and you all have a lot of teachers and a lot of people around you that tell you all day what you have to do, but it is your right to choose what you do and don't do. It is your right to choose what you believe in and what you don't believe in. It is your right to curate your life and your own perspective.
We all go through things. We all go through struggles, right? There's probably everybody in this room that goes through struggles the same exact way, and I think that's what we all have to realize. It's just something that every single person goes through.
And maybe we go through it in a different or more intense way for longer periods of time, but it's not, there's nothing wrong with you. To be a sensitive person that cares a lot, that takes things in a deep way, is actually part of what makes you amazing.
I also struggled a lot with anxiety and depression. If you start to feel like you are twisting things around you, and you start to feel like there is no sunlight around you, and you are paralyzed with fear, here's how you can help yourself.
First, you have to understand what anxiety is, and you have to understand the connection between worry, which is something we all do, and self-doubt, which is something we all do, and anxiety. Anxiety is what happens when your habit of worrying spirals out of control. It's important for you to foundationally understand that anxiety and worry are the same thing. It's just that your body starts to get agitated, and that's when we call worrying anxiety. Your heart races. You might sweat a little bit. You might feel tightening in your chest. You might feel a pit in your stomach. You have a surge of cortisol. You can actually beat it. This is how you're going to do it. So all day long, you're going to have moments where your thoughts drift. Like you'll just be hanging out with your friends, and then suddenly you're like, I'm not sure that that person likes me anymore. I haven't heard from my kids lately. I wonder if they're dead, or, as I check, like you just start worrying about stuff. Why? Because it's a habit. Because when you're not paying attention, your brain shifts from you being a decision maker and paying attention to you just kind of spinning things on autopilot, and one of your habits is worrying. The second you wake up and you notice, holy cow, I'm talking some negative garbage to myself right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've just shifted the part of the brain. You've shifted from the basal ganglia, which is where your habit loops are spinning, and you've awakened your prefrontal cortex. You've also interrupted that pattern. Now what you're going to do, because your mind is actually ready to receive a different thought because of the counting, now you can put in an anchor thought. Like if you have a mantra, if you've got a vision about the way that your business is going to turn out in 5 years, if you just have a thought that makes you really happy and proud, insert that. Now, why does this work? It works because of the counting. And I'm not kidding. We know, based on research, that positive thinking alone, not effective. In some instances, trying to force yourself to think positive can actually make the worries worse. Why? Well, the reason why is because it's really hard to just change the channel. What we have to do first is basically interrupt it and turn off the TV, and then turn it back on with the prefrontal cortex awakened. So the counting is essential. And so you can start using this today.
Right now in America, symptoms of depression are 3 times higher than before the pandemic. As the world reopens, it's important to raise awareness about mental health struggles and to invest in resources for more community and educational support. If you or a loved one are struggling, please know that there are resources to help. Whether it be talking to a therapist, finding a support group, or even just talking to a loved one, these first steps will help in more ways than one. There's a hotline you can call if you feel like you need help. Call 800-500-NAMI, or if you feel like you're in a crisis, text NAMI to 741-741. You are not alone, and remember that the world is more beautiful with you in it.
You've got to reevaluate and attack life again, and it's tough, it's hard. You know, it's like being knocked back almost. Even though you're successful, it's like being pushed back again.
Yeah, whether you win or you lose, the depression still sets in, right?
Yeah.
The number of teens, Gen Zers, 20-somethings suffering from depression and anxiety and loneliness. Loneliness is through the roof. This is one of the biggest issues that they're dealing with on college campuses. We rise to our maximum potential when we're of service to others. Going back to anxiety, going back to depression, going back to loneliness, I truly believe that's the answer. That's the way out of any kind of mental illness. It's like, I'm gonna make myself a better person, I'm gonna make the world a better place. And everything that I'm doing, I've got these 2 chariots, and I'm going down this road, or I'm going down this road, or I'm going down both together.
I've been there a lot in my life, especially before my car accident, my teenage years. Then the first woman I ever loved, we had a big breakup, and that breakup sent me down in depression and suicidal planning. And it's tough to dispense advice to people other than get help. And I'll share why. Because that time in my life, I had so many people coming up to me. You know, my friends would come into my dorm room and, Brendan, let's go do something. And the hope is lost. And what people, I think, make the mistake of trying to do is hype people up. Everything's gonna be okay, you're gonna be great. And what people need who are suicidal is serious psychological intervention. They need to seek support and help. And outside of that, when they do get that support, the first thing a great therapist is going to do, outside of the emotional reflection work of why are you here and what has caused this sort of pattern for you, they're going to get you starting to get some momentum. The most important thing is when you are super down, outside of finding that emotional reasoning for where you are, is to start getting momentum. Because with momentum comes hope. With momentum comes motivation. With momentum comes, that feeling that there's a reason for tomorrow. And so it's as simple as just saying, okay, what are 3 things I'm gonna do today? And I don't mean that like a lot of personal development guys would say, like, what are your 3 big goals for the day? Arr! I'm like, dude, sometimes that first goal is, I'm gonna shower today. I'm really gonna shower today. I'm gonna walk to the library. I'm gonna come home. And that's all they got. Like literally, that's all they got. And you gotta honor that struggle when you're in that place. Like, know that where you're at, it is okay that you're there, and now you're gonna need help, and now you're gonna have to set up some daily practices just every day, win a little bit. Not like win your dreams, not like crush through goals, not like be a badass, not like, no, just momentum, man. You know, most of the guys I've dealt with in that position who were suicidal, outside of their therapeutic work, I said, the most important thing you can do is win the morning. I don't want to ever be flippant with the advice to people who are dealing with that situation outside of get some help, get some momentum, and be okay if that momentum is really small, because it will build. Trust that that momentum builds, and trust that those gloomy and bad, dark days, trust that those are going to be there. They'll get less and less and less as you learn how to cope, but they're gonna be there. And so when they're there, it's one of outside of teaching people to bring the joy in my life, I teach people to honor the struggle. honor the difficulty. When we honor the struggle instead of hate the struggle, we can really achieve extraordinary things because our mindset's in the right place. It as soon as you honor the struggle, you accept that, oh, of course, there should be struggle here. I should honor this process. When you go to the gym to work out, you honor that this is going to be hard and honor that process of getting better. And the more that you bring honor to it, the more your psyche builds with strength, and you get a little bit of that esteem back because you see yourself engaging something versus avoiding it and running away. You see yourself connecting with something and giving it reverence. You're like I have reverence for the difficulties of life. They may be better. So I don't want a friction-free life. I'm not interested in it. You know, I like to say sometimes that, you know, the journey to greatness begins the moment that our, you know, deep desires for comfort and ease are overpowered by our desires to connect and contribute.
You know, when there are really hard times, there are so many tools that you can use to help yourself in those times, and it does get better and easier as life goes on and you start to get to know yourself more and what will trigger certain instances of anxiety and where you feel comfortable and safe. So I would just say, don't ever feel like you're a weirdo for it, because we're all weirdos.
I don't care what you've been through. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what your past is like. I don't care what your stress is like. I don't care what stress you're under. I don't care what problems you have right now. I don't care what you don't have right now. All I care about is what your mindset is like in terms of today and your future. Are you going to make today count? Because that's all you can control. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter where you start, guys. It doesn't matter what talents you're born with. It's about where you finish. And this race isn't over. It's not over. You could still come in first in the marathon. But you gotta start today. You gotta start now. You have everything you have. Everything you need is inside you. It doesn't matter what you don't have now, because you can go get it. But it starts today. It starts with a commitment. It starts with a principle. It starts with a discipline. It starts with effort. It starts with energy. It starts with an idea that you're going to make today count. And a lot of people want to know what my routine is like. Well, it's predicated on that idea that I'm going to make today count. And that means that before everyone is up, I'm going to have entered a peak state already. I'm here to help you. But you have to help yourself. No one's going to do it for you in terms of the action. But you gotta say something with me. I'm going to make this thing work. I'm going to live out my dreams. I'm going to live out my purpose. I'm going to be who I was destined to be. I'm going to fulfill all of the tasks necessary to live out that purpose, to become who I really want to be, not be who I am shackled by in the past, not live in a world of constraint.
Most people in life, they die or they retire before they see all the huge results. Why is that? Because when they were in high school and in college, they pissed away all their time. They didn't build a great foundation. And so they never experience what's possible to experience in life. They never experience that high level of satisfaction, fulfillment, of being on a sense of mission in life, of having a life purpose, of living their passions, of having an incredible career. You have the potential to gain a lot. And you have the potential also to lose everything that you could gain. In the sense that you'll gain it if you put in the work right now to build your foundation. And you'll lose it if you slack off and you're lazy and you don't think about your future. Then you will not gain all this stuff. And in fact, your life will probably go downwards, not upwards, because you can experience negative growth in life. That's actually what happens with many people. is that not only are they stuck, but they get more miserable, more angry, more depressed, more of a victim as life goes on, because they start to really see like, oh man, I wasted my youth and all the energy I had and all the free time I had. I wasted all of that on partying and drinking and other stupid things. I didn't invest it properly. And now I feel like a victim. And now I feel like I can't turn it around.
This is a matter of life and death. I don't know who told y'all. I don't know who told y'all this was about math, this was about English, this was about science, right? And y'all thinking, why do I need math to blow up? Why do I need English to blow up? Look, this is not about what you think it is. This is life and death. School is about setting a foundation. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? So I need you to try. I need you to try to read every single word. If you don't know it, write it down, look it up. I need you to try to do every single assignment. I need you to try to go to every single class. I just need you to try because I know something about you. I know something about you. I know when you put forth 120% effort, it ain't nothing you can't do. It ain't nothing you can't accomplish. I don't want you to live to die no more. I want you to die to live because I know if you try, I know if you put forth 120% effort, it ain't nothing you can't do.
But live in a world of freedom. And that's yours to have. That's a choice that you can make. That's a decision that you could follow through on, that you could carry out. You gotta wanna make this thing work for you. You gotta make today count. What are you doing with your time? Are you wasting it? Are you going to make today count? Because it's precious. Or are you gonna let it just slip away? Let it fade. You need to be in a peak state at all times. That's gonna be predicated on your will, your intensity, your integrity, your character, your energy, your effort to get what you want out of this life. It's on you.
I will conquer what has not been conquered. Defeat will not be in my creed. I will believe what others have doubted. I will always endeavour to uphold prestige, honour and respect for my team. I have trained my mind and my body will follow. Who am I? I am a champion. I will acknowledge the fact that my opponent, he don't expect me to win, but I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart.
Through all the bumps in the road and the stormy weather, the heart of a champion you can never measure. They might have more talent, but they fold under pressure. Because they were only out for the pleasure, the gold and the treasure. They crumble to better or even lesser competition. So today all of the excuses stop. This is where your heart of a champion starts.
A worker, a believer, someone that understands that they got to do more than less. Someone that knows what it means to push.
Who am I? I am a champion. To my side I have comrades. Comrades that have been with me through thick and thin. Through sacrifice, through blood, through sweat, through tears. Never will I let them fall. Never will I let them down. And I will never leave an enemy behind. Because our opponent does not know my heart. Who am I? I am a champion.
There will become a time when you have to realize that you got to put in the work and you got to understand that if you're gonna do it, you better do it with the right attitude. Because attitude is what's gonna take to get you to the level that you need to be and beyond it. A champion has to be disciplined. A champion has to be hungry.
No one will deny me. No one will define me. And no one will tell me who and what I am and can be. Belief will change my world. It has moved continents, it has moved countries, it has put man on the moon. And it will carry me through this battle. Who am I? I am a champion. Defeat, retreat, those are not in my words. I don't understand these definitions. I don't understand when things go wrong. I don't understand mistakes, but I do understand this. I understand victory and I understand never surrendering. Because no matter how bad things go, my heart and my mind will carry my body when my limbs are too weak.
You got to understand within you is greatness.
Who am I? I am a champion. Who am I? I am a champion. Who am I? I am a champion. Today will be that day. Every single day, people walk around just lying to themselves. They go into work all pissed off, telling themselves they deserve more money because they work hard, when all they do is sit on their all day. They tell themselves and others around them that they're going to do this and that, or be this and that, and don't do jack to go out and make it happen. These lies are one of the worst, most dangerous things that we can do as individuals, because all the while that you're lying to yourself, you ain't going nowhere. How the hell are you supposed to get motivated to get up in the morning when it's cold and dark and you're in your bed and that's soft and warm, when you're telling yourself every day that you don't need to go to the gym because you ain't fat? It's time to start getting real and honest, because let me tell you, all the while you're lying to yourself, you ain't gonna change. It's time to look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. Whatever that truth is for you, whatever that thing is that you've been lying to yourself about, it's time to stop. Being honest about your is one of the hardest things to do, believe me. I've been there. I've lied to myself about loads of things that I didn't have the courage to change. But that's what it takes. It takes courage, it takes balls, it takes commitment, it takes discipline. These are all things that you need to have, because let me tell you this, when you do, when you truly start getting honest and stop bullshitting yourself and everyone else around you, magic is going to start to happen, baby. You'll start to move forward and achieve that thing. You'll start to lose weight. You'll start to look better, feel better, not just about your body, but feel better about yourself as a person. You'll start respecting yourself more. You'll start carrying yourself differently and think that you can take on the fucking world. But it all starts with honesty. Ask yourself what you've been lying to yourself about. Consciously admit that you've been bullshitting yourself about that thing, and do everything in your power to go out and change it. It ain't easy to do. It's scary, but I promise you, it will be worth it. It's easy to go through life continuously thinking that all of your dreams are going to come true, that you're going to do that thing that you've been wanting to do for years, that you're going to get that job, that you're going to see that place, tell that person, win that thing, whatever it is, whatever that dream is that you're holding in your mind. It's easy to think that you're going to get there just by waiting. It's easy to put off the actions that are actually going to get you to where you want to be and say that you're going to do them tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll make that call. Tomorrow I'll say sorry. Tomorrow I'll say I love you. Tomorrow I'll start that business. Tomorrow I'll start that new thing. Procrastination is a terminal disease. You don't feel it, you can't see it, and there's no surgery that can remove it, but if you let it, it will kill your dreams. Because let me tell you this, you ain't gonna be here forever. And if you ain't careful, you're gonna get to the end of your life and still be saying that you're gonna do it tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. From this day forward, I want you to start living your life as tomorrow wasn't going to come, and that right here, right now, is the only time you can act. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right here, right now. Action. Action is the only cure for procrastination. You need to do it now. You want to tell that person you love them? Go do it. You want to say sorry? Do it now. You want to start a business? Do it. You want to do that thing you've been waiting to do for years? Then do it now. Don't wait. Don't make excuses. Don't come up with reasons why you can't and focus on all the shit that might happen if things go wrong. Just get up, get out, and get it done. Because one of these days will be your last. Make sure that you did everything you wanted to do in this life. You get one shot. One. Do it. Do it now. Act. Take action and start achieving your goals, as tomorrow may never come around, baby. Every time you find yourself putting things off and procrastinating, I want you to remind yourself that there is no tomorrow. There is only today for you to act. So go and do it now. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, right here, in your house and in your home. Who am I? I am a champion. History will remember me. I will not let worrying affect my cause. I will define myself. I will write my own pages, and no one will tell me what I can and cannot be. I will never give up, not knowing I've given everything I've got.
If you are what you say you are, then do what you gotta do. But saying and doing is two different things. Let your actions speak for themselves. Don't sleep on your success, because what you are facing is not there to apologize to you. It's not there to say it's okay. I'm gonna let you win. You're not gonna get anything given to you. You better show them that you are there to work. You are there to push. You are there to give it everything that is necessary so that you can understand what it truly means to be a champion.
From this day forward, set out to achieve greatness, not by looking for someone to give it to you. No, no, no. But by going to work to set your own inner greatness free.
See, they don't understand you wanted success and you wanted it so badly.
Champions don't have time to wait around for something to happen on its own. When everybody else is sleeping, the champion gets up before the sun comes up. The champion is the one that never lets the sun catch them sleeping. Being a champion takes work, grit, and understanding. There is no winning in excuses. There are no victories and giving up. You are the one that is responsible for this work that must be done.
Who am I? I am a champion.
Some of you are interested in this work, and you like telling people you do it. It make you feel good. But you're not 120 though. Some of you are committed, but this like your side hustle. I'm just being real, y'all. I was fully committed. I left everything and started doing it, and because I was fully committed, the world responded to that commitment. But you just interested. You're not really committed to it. You're not putting in 50, 60 hours. When my wife got diagnosed with MS, I never quit doing the work because I wasn't doing it for people. I was doing it for the kids that I was doing it for. So even with MS, she had to quit her job. I had to take it to another level. Some of y'all are negotiating, not because of the company. You negotiate because you're not the best at what you do. And I need y'all to go back and be the best at what you do. And then I need y'all to come together as the best and then take this thing to the next level. And there are some of you, you know what you want. You know what you want, but you are not personally willing to do the work it takes to get it. What you're trying to do is do what you've done on this level and get the next level. You're trying to do exactly what you're doing on this level. You're like, I'm getting up every day. I'm putting in 2.5. I'm putting in 3, and I'm not getting the opportunity. The opportunity might require 3.5. I'm lifting weights. I'm eating right, and I'm not getting the opportunity. It might require getting up and working out 3.5. It might require you saying no to your friends. It might require you changing your diet. It might require you moving to another city. Whatever it takes, you got to be willing to do it. And you keep saying you're not there because of something else, because it's easier to blame somebody else. Because now you don't got to do no work when you blame somebody else. Guess who got to do the work? They got to do the work. But guess who got the power? They got the power. How many of y'all tired of other people having the power? Let me see your hand. You want the power. I'm just being real, hands down. Hands down, think about what I just said. How many of you want the power? Let me see your hands. Good, write down next to your crazy idea some of the things that you know you're doing wrong that's messing up what you're doing. All right, now I'm gonna tell you this story. I gotta get out of here. And the story is about, you guys have probably heard about this before. It was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? And he told the guru, I want to be on the same level you on. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He like, the beach? I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit. He should have wore shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. So he like, this guy crazy. Adrian, he like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area, the shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He making money, but he crazy. He said, come on out a little further. He came out a little further. It was right at his mouth. My man like, I'm about to go back in here. This guy is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man getting scratching, holding him down. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. Somebody answered the question for me. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? I said, I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma in here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, the only thing you're trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about when you're trying to breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Beyonce said once she was on the set doing her thing, 3 days had gone by, she forgot she didn't eat because she was engaged. I'll never forget when 50 Cent was doing his movie, I did a little research on 50, and 50 said that when he wasn't doing the movie, he was doing the soundtrack. And they said, when do you sleep, 50? Sleep, he said, sleep. Sleep is for those people who are broke. I don't sleep. He said, I got an opportunity to make a dream become a reality. Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. And I'm here to tell you today, if you got somebody came in my office the other day crying. I said, look, don't cry to give up, cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain, you already hurt, get a reward from it. Don't go to sleep until you succeed. Listen to me, I'm here to tell you today that you can come here, you can jump up, you can do flips, you can be excited when we give away money, but listen to me, you'll never be successful until I don't have to give you a dime to do what you do. You won't be successful until you say, I don't need that money, because I got it in here. So listen to me, Emmett Smith said this at the end of the commercial. Emmett Smith said, all men are created equal, some work harder in preseason. I'm gonna say it again because you might have missed it. All men are created equal, some work harder in preseason. So that means that there are some people who are going to see the professor, going to see the TA, and even when the professor says, I don't meet with you, my TA meet with you, you say, I don't want to talk to your TA. I don't pay the TA. I pay you to teach me. So you're gonna have to find some time to meet me. If I gotta meet you at the mall, if I gotta meet you at your house, you are going to see me. Listen to me, all men are created equal, some work hard in preseason. When I went to college, guys were way smarter than me. 4.0s, 3.0, they went to the Ivy League high schools, came to Oakwood from these great high schools. Most of them are not doing what I'm doing. Why? Because it's not about where you come from. It's about heart. You come to a place where, being smart ain't enough. You gotta have heart. That's number one. Watch number two. The important thing is this. You're right in why I'm saying it. The most important thing is this. To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. That's the number two thing. You gotta catch that one. To be able to, listen to me, at any moment. Some of you can make sacrifices when Monday Night Football is not on. You can make a sacrifice, but when the game come on, for some reason, you just attach to it. For some of you, when your favorite show come on, you can make sacrifices on Sunday when ain't nothing going on. But when your favorite show comes on Monday, bam, some of you focus until the phone ring, and then you like, I gotta answer it. If I don't answer the phone, I'm gonna die. I'm saying to you today that there are some of you, if you give up your cell phone, you would be successful. But your cell phone is more important to you than your success. I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna hurt somebody. Some of you need to give up your cell phone because the time you spend on your cell phone could be used for your success. The time you could be using to be successful, you're using it on the cell. And the cell phone is not bringing you nothing but a bill. And somebody has told you you couldn't live without it. I'm talking about going deep now, giving up stuff. Watch what it says. To be able at any moment to sacrifice what we are for what we could be. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good in writing because you have never written before. But I dare you to fail in writing for a whole year to see if you can get to the end. I dare you to fail. I dare you to take that same class over and over again. I dare you to stop dropping classes like you soft.
Over the years, I have become intrigued and obsessed with the study of one of the most undervalued, underrated superpowers that exist in our world today. That is the study of the power of the mind. I don't think people really understand the power that they possess on a daily basis. It's a muscle that only needs to be exercised, and once exercised, its potential is limitless.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your mindset is how you set your mind. And every single day, we have a choice to move forwards into growth or back into safety.
So be deliberate. Only you can change it. Use it well, and it will lead you to accomplish the incredible. Be deliberate with your mindset. Believe that you're in control of the outcome.
If you can see it in your mind, if you can believe it in your heart, and have the courage to speak it, then you can pull it into your reality.
So many people right now don't realize that our minds play tricks on us. Have you ever tried to go to sleep at night and your mind has been working overtime? Have you ever been walking down the street and thinking that someone is behind you? Our minds play tricks on us unless we make the conscious decision to develop a growth mindset. We will be lost and we will be a victim to a mind that has been conditioned to focus on what is wrong, to focus on what is missing, to focus on what we haven't got.
Where does that change come from? Because is it enough? You want the change. You have new goals, you have new plans. Is that enough?
The secret is to work on your mindset daily. Work on the way that you see the world. Otherwise, you'll live your whole life seeing the world through someone else's eyes. You'll be a creature of circumstance. You'll be a victim of your life and not the master of it. Read books, listen to audios like this one. Start learning about why you do the things that you shouldn't do and why you don't do the things that you should. It's all because of the way that thing between your ears is wired. But know this, you're in control of rewiring it whenever you make the decision to do so. At any moment, you can take control back of your life and start creating a life that you deserve, not a life that someone else has paved out for you.
You got to understand that there are going to be many circumstances that will require your full, undivided attention. You got to go through it to get to it. You have to understand it has to be a unique mindset. Setting a goal and then going beyond it. Realizing that there's work to be done. Making sure that all of the strings are attached. And make no mistake along the way. Now it's true that we all make mistakes. And we will have many setbacks. But there's always room for a comeback. To understand this, you must realize that you must humble yourself, but yet be hungry enough to go after it with everything inside of you. Everything that is required depends on you. Having the mindset that regardless of anything that is around you, that is surrounding you, that is trying to drag you down, you must have the mindset. You must be strong. You must be resilient. You must be driven. And you must be able to take whatever's coming at you. If you stumble, if you fall, have the ability to get up.
And when all of the struggle comes, all of the bad times, all of the dark times come around, which they inevitably will, you'll be strong enough to take it head on. And it'll make you rather than break you. You have greatness inside you, let me tell you. Unlimited potential. But you have to train your mind. Every single day. Things are going to happen outside of your control. All you can control is how you choose to look at situations. You can control the information that you're letting in here. Never forget that you can have anything in this life that you want if you're willing to go and get it. You've got to have belief.
How do you alter your mindset? The only path is through new awareness. You could receive advice all day long. Many people do. They love being told what to do. They're hooked on new books, new ideas, new lists. They learn and learn and learn in all directions except the one that matters most. Learning about themselves. There is no getting around this. It's hard to sustain new happiness without new awareness. You can go for the run, you can have the hard conversation, you can eat better food, you can wake up early, read at night, you can do it all. But does it make you happier? Deep down, long term, that's the metric. If it does, if you're happier, it's because you realize something new about yourself. The change was you. You recognized why your new habits shifted your outlook. It was about challenging your old mindset. We started with this idea that now was the time. It was the time to do more, to do better, to create the change and go for it, do it. If now is the time for change, make the change, but recognize what you are truly seeking. That your body may transform, your habits may improve, you may learn new ideas, but where did the change start? What was behind it all? It's always your mindset.
I used to wonder if mindset really mattered. I thought that success was all about talent and skill set, but I came to realize that someone who is great at what they do can quickly be bypassed by someone who is less talented but more confident.
No matter how you dissect change in your life, your mind was at the start. Change happens. It's you. Change doesn't happen. It's you. Your mindset defines the outcome.
Deliberately replace those thoughts of hopelessness with motivation. Deliberately replace those thoughts of defeat with a drive to be better. Your mindset can deliver you a great life. So get to the business of deliberately leading it there, because it can't happen any other way.
No excuses. What's your excuse today? You don't have enough time? You don't have enough energy? You don't have enough money? Are you too tired? You didn't get enough sleep? Is that what's really stopping you? Or is what's stopping you, you? In this social media world that we live in today, it's so easy to lose your way. I look around at so many people today and can see that they just don't know who they are. It's easy to see the life that we live in today through some Snapchat filter. To look around at everybody else and say, that's what life looks like. That life looks perfect. So they go around and start acting like other people, doing what other people do, taking a selfie in front of an expensive car, put a million filters on the picture and upload that to Instagram to tell the world, this is who I am. The problem is, behind closed doors, they know that that's not who they are. So they end up lost, wandering around in a lie that they created. And the only thing to keep the lie going is more lies, more pictures, more filters, until one day they look around and realise that they have lost themselves along the way. They have no idea who they are or could be because they've been trying for so long to be someone else. The difference between the people who are happy and the people that ain't is that the people that are happy choose to focus on the solutions to the problems they face rather than the problems themselves. You always have a choice. You can decide to focus on the or decide to look for the solution. It's all about perspective. Dreaming is good. Having goals is good. But sooner or later, there comes a time when you must act. Dreams without action, that's the path to delusion. Without action, these dreams and goals will fill your life with a shitload of negative emotions. Things like anxiousness, nervousness. They will fester inside you and drain your energy. The reason most people don't take action is simple. It's fear. Fear of failure, fear of success. And the only way to overcome this and to stop making bullshit excuses why you shouldn't act is to make not taking action more painful than taking action. So think about it right now. Let's think of some things that might happen if you try to do the thing that you've been wanting to do for years. Okay, well, it might not work the first time. It might not be as easy as you thought. People might laugh at you and talk about you behind your back. You might get hurt. But if you keep taking action, in spite of all this stuff that might happen, guess what? Sooner or later, you're going to start winning.
Constantly tell yourself how much worse things could be, and you can actually be thankful for the way you've got things at the moment. Your world and your life can truly be anything you make it, but you've got to make it. Nothing can be achieved, conceived until first it's believed. You have to believe it to see it. Amazing things happen when you believe you have something. Your brain actively goes out to make it happen. It starts to notice little subtle opportunities that you would have otherwise deleted because it knows it's got a job to do to get you what you want.
People take action and get done when they have had enough. They decide and they say, that's it, I'm done, no more. No more will I be treated like this. No more will I be overweight. No more will I be in a job that I hate. Just decide, man. Making action a must will piss all over the fear you have, I promise you that. At the moment, your brain thinks like this. Trying this new thing will be hard, it will be risky, etc., etc. Basically, associating taking action with pain. So, what you need to do is to train your mind and focus on the pain you'll get if you don't act. And to reinforce that, focus on all the pleasure that you will get if you act. So it'll sound something like this. It'll be a good challenge. You'll learn something new. You'll meet new people, see new places. If you do that and you take massive action every time, your life will never be the same again, I promise.
I'm here to tell you today that it ain't a load of rubbish. It's true. You can be who you want to be. You can do what you want to do, see what you want to see. It's all in your power and no one else's. But you got to believe it. You can either be a victim of your life or the master of it. If there's something that you want to do with your life, that thing deep inside you that whispers day and night, it will always just be an idea until you choose to believe it's possible. You have to believe it so much that you already think it's happened. You have to walk like it's there, talk like it's there, believe it's there. People are going to think you're mad. They're going to look at you and think you're insane. They're going to tell you like it ain't possible, it's risky, you shouldn't do it, be careful. I'm here to tell you today that you can have anything you want. Follow your dreams. These people have to see to believe it, but you need to believe it to see it. Be anyone you want. Believe that you can do it and work hard to get it and it's yours. Never wait and see to believe it. Believe it and you'll see it. Be you. You're amazing and beautiful and everyone deserves to see the real you and who you want to be. It's a scary thing in the world we live in today to be yourself. With so much fake perfection out there on social media. But I'll tell you this, it's also the best feeling in the world when you go through life knowing you ain't what other people's made you but yourself. It's liberating. There's freedom in it. So stop hiding and be yourself.
You're either moving forward or standing still. The choice is yours. Decide.
If you're happy in life right now, then you can stop listening now, because this video ain't for you. Right now, I'm talking to the people that talk and don't do. And believe me, this is gonna hurt, and you ain't gonna like me much after this one, because you need to hear this. If you want all these things in life and you're just thinking that by some miracle of life it's gonna magically happen, you gotta wake up. The only way to get what you want in life is to get to work and go and get it. To look at all your adversity and all the excuses square in the face and push yourself out of your comfort zone to achieve what you want. Too many of you are just going through the paces, lying to yourself about what you're doing to get what you want. It's easy to do this. And believe me, I've been there, but trust me when I say you can always do more. You always have another gear, another level of performance. You can always push a little bit harder. Get up a little earlier, work a little longer, spend more time with the ones you love. Whatever it is you want more of or want to be better at in your life, you have complete control over whether you get it or not. You have limitless potential, but you gotta believe that's true. You can't keep telling yourself that you're doing everything you can. And the only person you're lying to is yourself. I remember 5 years ago, I used to tell myself that I was flat out, that I was working as hard as possible. I look back at the me 5 years ago and laugh at what that guy used to do. It was pathetic, but at that time, I thought I was doing everything I could. You have to push yourself past the edge of your comfort zone. It's the only way to grow. Like a muscle in the gym, you will get stronger and stronger and you'll start getting better, winning more, achieving more. The possibilities when you do this, although unknown, are endless. But one thing is for certain, if you don't push yourself, nothing in your life will change.
When you're sitting at your cubicle, when you're lining up for class, one thing I want you to make sure you remember is don't quit. No matter how it goes for the day, no matter what you go through, make sure you don't quit. We always say just do it. Every day, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road that you're treading seems all uphill, when cares are pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. Many a failure turned about, though he might have won had he stuck it out. So don't give up though the pace seems slow. You might succeed with just another blow. Success is failure turned inside out. The silver tips of the cloud of doubt. You never know how close you are. You might be near, but you seem so far. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things go wrong, you must not quit.
You are amazing and you have limitless potential. So start tapping into it by not sitting on the fence. Get up, get out and get it done, baby. And your life will never be the same again, I promise. So you want to be the best. You want to get to the top. You want to achieve success. I'm sick and tired of all you people out there that go around talking about what you want, what you're going to get, what you're going to have, what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and not doing to actually make it happen. It's easy to say that, I'll try that thing tomorrow, or I'll do that tomorrow. We've all had times where we find ourselves constantly telling ourselves that one day we'll do that thing. The problem is, we look at all these opportunities around us and we say they're risky. What you've got to realise is life in itself is risky. No one is getting out of life alive, I'll tell you that. But I'll also tell you this. It ain't important how long you live, what's important is how you live. If you're at a crossroads in your life and there's something that you really want to do but don't, something that you keep putting off because you're going to do it someday, please know this. The road to someday leads to a place called nowhere. You got to risk everything. You got to put it all on the line. Most of the time you ain't doing you want to do because of a few things. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, fear of what people might say, fear that it won't work out, fear of regret. But if you have something that you really want to do, something that's inside you and just won't go away, that thing that's there when you wake up in the morning and it's there when you go to sleep at night, you got to go for it. Go get in shape. Go start that business. Deep down, you know you should do it, but you've got to risk it all. Because doing these things most of the time doesn't actually mean that all that bad is gonna happen. But not doing it definitely guarantees one thing: that you'll get to the end of your life and regret that you didn't even try. Remember this: you can fail in life doing something you hate, so you might as well risk it and do something you love. Every one of us has two voices inside our head. One voice is you, the real you. The you that knows exactly what you want to do, what you want to have, who you want to be with, and where you want to go. The other voice I call fear. And this voice is the voice that is always telling you what you can't do, why you can't have that thing, why you can't be with that person, why you can't get where you want to go. This voice is a liar, and it's constantly whispering bullshit. It lies to you every time you want to try something new, get a new job, try that new thing. These two voices are always at constant war with each other. Every time your voice speaks and thinks about having something new, fear is there to squash it. Every time you want to try something new, fear is there to squash it. Every time you want to go somewhere new, fear is there to squash it. The big problem I see in the world today is that too many people are letting fear always win these inner conflicts. They let fear be the bigger, stronger voice. They listen to fear's lies and let fear push them around. If you look at anyone that's happy or successful in life, it's because they know how to keep fear in check. Now, don't get me wrong, fear is always going to be there, all right, no matter how hard you work, but you've got to start fighting back. You've got to start training your mind to beat fear down when it pipes up and tells you these lies. From this day forward, I want you to start working on your voice and stop letting fear dictate your life and how you live it. Every time it pipes up, you need to make it shut up and get back in its cage where it belongs. When you want something new and fear pipes up and tells you can't have it, you've got to say, yes, I can. When you want to try something new and fear pipes up and tells you shouldn't do it, you've got to say, yes, I should. When you want to go somewhere new or be with someone new and fear pipes up and says you won't do it, you've got to say, yes, I will. Too many of you think that you're the person that fear is telling you are every day. I'm weak, I'm useless, I'm small, I'm insignificant, no one cares about me, blah, blah, blah. It's all a load of bollocks, and it's only true in your mind because you listen to it. And you need to realise that you have complete control over your mind. You need to start talking back with your own voice, your true voice, and telling fear to f*** off. Because I'll tell you this, fear will control you your whole life as long as you let it. So train your mind.
You know what Winston Churchill said about courage, Pat? He said courage is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So you want to courageously hold on to your dream and not lose enthusiasm.
I want to talk about failure. I want to talk about why things go wrong, why you fail to study better, and you're wasting your time. Because you can learn as much, if not more, from your failures, your non-starts, your hesitations, as you can from your successes. We think that things happen overnight, but they don't. They happen every day, in each passing moment.
So what happens when you fail, right? And shit hits the fan? Like, what happens? When everything goes wrong, you're constantly failing at developing these skills. This end result that you have, every road or constantly the stairs to get to that thing, you keep failing. You just keep hitting the wall and you can't get through it.
You win or you lose. You waste or you create. Winning or passing an exam or a degree, it's not a one-time thing. It's an everyday thing, an every moment thing. You don't win once in a while. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all of the time. Winning as a result, or success, excellence, they're all habits. And conversely, if you look at the opposite side of the coin, so is losing.
And maybe you're experiencing something similar where you're constantly doing something new you've never done before and you're not getting good at it. You're not forming the skills, you're not developing the habits, you're just not getting better at it and you're constantly failing, and people around you are like, hey, like, you're failing, like, this is getting old. So lesson one I learned is we tend to blame others, other people, circumstances, challenges when we fail.
It's all the cumulative moments that led up to that point. And if you're trying to discover how do you stop wasting time, there's only one thing that you need to really find, and that's direction. You need direction, your own direction, not someone else's direction, not your parents' direction or society's direction or social media's direction, your own direction.
But I want to share a quick story with you, because the first year at Ole Miss, for some of you that know my story, for some of you that don't, it was a blast. Like, getting my ass kicked every day over and over again was fun because I was just excited to be there, right? But year 2 failures, right? And constantly getting kicked around. And year 3 failures and not getting off the practice squad. And running to the dress list every single Thursday and not ever being on it. And it gets old, constantly failing. Like, in the very beginning, failing's okay. You're just learning. It's okay to fail. It's in your mind, you're fine. But as time keeps going on and you keep failing and you keep failing, it gets old. And people stop being supportive and helping you. And you start to feel alone, right? And like, when I would go and look in that dress list and I was like, man, like, this is not good. Even the people that were close to me were like, this isn't gonna happen. And so I remember being on a call with my dad after those 3 years, and I was ready to quit. I was like, done. And I was saying to him, like, I'm not talented enough. I'm not big enough. It's because I didn't fit in. They aren't giving me enough opportunity. And he just yelled over the phone. He was like, stop. All these are excuses. The problem is you aren't who you need to be yet. You haven't developed the skills yet. You haven't developed the habits yet. You haven't become who you need to be yet.
A guy in Los Angeles, all over the front page of the newspaper, he just passed the bar after taking it 48 times. He had more than enough reason and excuses not to take it. His son has a law firm. He could have been a legal assistant, a clerk. And people all of a sudden used to laugh at this guy. He was a laughing stock. Are you taking the bar lately? Can you imagine what they did to this dude? You know what that guy is? Man making a career taking the bar. But by the way, he need to make a career to pass it. People will do that too. You know, people talk about John Kennedy Jr. failing the bar. Did you read in the newspaper that he passed? I didn't see that, but did they make a bigger deal about him passing as they did when he failed? No, you know why? People like to see you fail. They like to see that. People are like that. I don't know why it's set up like that. I was on the expressway, traffic was jammed up. You know what was happening? It was an accident. But people pull over to the side to get out of their car to go look, to see somebody else's suffering. That's why talk shows are so popular. So people like to hear other people's misery, get it caught up in that. Then they go magnify it in their own lives because that's all they focus on. I better not catch you going to any accidents here. Bob Boy went to conquer his volcano like that gentleman who decided it doesn't matter how many times I fail. I'm going to courageously pursue it. I don't care what people say. I don't care what they think. This is something that I want that gives my life meaning and value. You got a volcano like that in you somewhere.
And if you want a really quick measurement, if you want a quick gauge of where you're at in this spectrum of numbing and awakening yourself, just look back. What did you do today? Not a week ago, not 2 weeks ago, but today. How much direction do you have? How much clarity do you have? How much drive do you have? Were you driven by something that you planned for and you scheduled, or were you reacting to what happened? Even the way you ended up on this video, did you schedule time to watch this, or did you just end up here? Because if you ended up here, you're reacting. If you plan to be here, you're responding, you're creating. And if you are one of those people, or you're having a moment where, let's be honest, you're wasting time, and it happens to all of us, it's as simple as it's because you didn't know what you wanted from this moment. You didn't prepare for this moment. You didn't plan for this moment. Maybe you didn't even act. Never forget that you're either creating your day or your day is being created for you.
But when we unlock those handcuffs and say it's on me, now we can begin to find and fine-tune those specific skills that we have to get good at, or it's lights out. If you don't fail, you're not going to get better, right? You have to fail your way to success. Les Brown said this, and I love it. He said, if you're going to fail and fall, land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And sometimes we forget that. Like, we forget, hey, we've got to fail, but I'm going to fail in the best way possible so I can get back up and learn from it and get better, right?
Just remember this. Only as high as you reach can you grow. Only as far as you seek can you go. Only as deep as you can look can you see. And only as much as you can dream can you be. So reach high, reach far, go deep, and keep dreaming.
Sacrifice is always required on the road to your dream. The question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? I heard a story that was powerful. It's a story of a general who was leading his men into war. And as they got into their fleet of boats, they were going to take an island. As they reached the island, the men got off the boats and the general gathered his men before they went into battle. He looked at them and he gave them 3 words: burn the boats. Now, this was powerful because he's telling them there is no retreat. Absolutely no retreat. Like, option A is the only option. Option B isn't possible. And he instilled into his men a mindset of courage and clarity, of conviction that allowed them to understand that this is the energy that you need to go and win this battle. The reason why this story is so powerful, because each and every one of us, as we're going into the battle of life, whatever it is that we are trying to accomplish, this mindset is necessary. Like, you dream getters, when you're going after a goal, when you're going after your aspirations, when you're going after something that might feel different to you, it might be bigger than the shoes that you're in right now, what it's telling you, what the general was telling his men was that I need your mindset to be ready for the war that we have in front of us. And oftentimes, many of us step into new scenarios and new arenas with doubt. We're clouded with doubt. And we wonder why it is so difficult for us to grow into the best version of ourselves.
And if you don't have what you want, stop telling yourself the story because you don't have the money, you don't have the time. It's because you haven't committed yourself where you would burn your boats. If you want to take an island, burn your boats, and you will take the island, because people, when they're going to either die or succeed, tend to succeed.
And the general was looking at his men, and he understood that he needed to literally light a fire within them. He needed to ignite something in them that let them know that he was going to lead them to victory and nothing else. And oftentimes, for many of us, that is a difficult mindset to get into. It is very difficult to step into a new arena, a new situation, a new environment, and have the courage, the confidence, the conviction, and the clarity to know that is yours for the taking. Sometimes it will be time. Sometimes it will be effort. Sometimes it will require isolation. Sometimes it will require you to put yourself in environments where you have to grow. Sometimes it will require you to make new relationships and put yourself in environments that you're not aware of. Are you willing to make the necessary sacrifices to become the individual that you need to be to go after that dream? So my question to you, as we step into a new arena, as we're growing into the best version of ourselves, have we burned our boats? I've come a long way, but I have a long way to go. I'm on a journey where I've come a long way, but I still have a vision that I have to reach for. And as I'm going on this journey, I'm realizing that there are a few things that are absolutely imperative to keep. in mind. Number one, you can't do it alone. Nothing that you're after can be really done alone. You have to understand who is on your team, who is a part of your team, how are you contributing and adding value to their lives, and how are they contributing and adding value to yours? Who are you sacrificing for? Because if they're not there, I promise you that reward will feel so empty. Number two is, what sacrifices are you going to make? Dreams require sacrifice. Oftentimes it requires time spent alone, time spent doing something that you never thought. This is before my first TEDx talk. I used to walk in the park by myself and give talks over and over again, imagining what the crowd would look like, who I wanted to be on that stage. This was a year before I ever started speaking. And while I'm not saying I'm far on the journey now, I just understand that there are going to be sacrifices that need to be made as you go on your journey. My question for you right now is, as you're on your journey, what sacrifices are you intentionally making? Where are you going, and what are the things that you're saying, you know what, if I cut this out and I cut this out and I add this in and I add this in, I develop this habit and I cut this habit, I will grow into the person that I'm supposed to become. What are those things for you? Have you identified those? And last but not least, what is the legacy that you're trying to leave behind? This word legacy is interesting because oftentimes it's spoken by those who are 50, 60, 70. Like, society has put it in a situation where we're only supposed to think about legacy at the end of our lives. I think legacy is something that you do every single day. How do you walk in your legacy? Meaning, what are you leaving behind? What impression are you leaving on the people who are around you? How are you moving and operating in a way where someone understands what you stand for and who you are now? What is your legacy? You're walking in it. It's not something that you build at the end of your life. It's something that you're doing right now. We are on the journey of becoming, so never be scared of answering the question and tackling the question and grappling with the question, the frustrating question, the question that might not have an answer right now. Are you on the right path, and understand that that's the only path you will take? Because if you operate with that type of mindset, victory is yours.
When you are doing everything in your power to be the best makeup of yourself, it's always going to be an adversary that's going to try to take that away from you.
We call it a rough patch, a speed bump, a dark place. There are so many words we can use to describe difficult times in life. Those times when circumstances or situations come in and knock us off our course.
Now, the best way you can overcome this is having the faith. Now, it doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as it's something that's positive, that's going to get you through it. A lot of people don't have that ability to be strong. And I'm not talking about the physical aspect of strength. I'm literally talking about the mental and, of course, spiritual aspect of strength.
It could be an injury, a passing of a loved one, a financial setback, or maybe a failed attempt at something new. Sometimes it feels like we'll be stuck in that rough patch forever. I've been there.
Everybody gets knocked down. No matter how tough you think you are, you're gonna fall, and when you fall, sometimes you fall real hard. But that ground is a hard surface, and I'm gonna tell you something, it ain't gonna move because you're laying on it. So you need to rise up, and you need to rise above it, and you need to start moving.
When you get knocked down, how long are you gonna stay down? When you lose your job, when you lose that loved one, regardless if it's your husband, your wife, your child, whatever it is, do you have the ability to go through the hurt and the pain of that loss? Regardless of what you're going through, the best time you know that you are strong is when you're at the weakest point of your life. When you are so far down that hole, you looking up and you don't see no light, but yet you know there's an end to this darkness. That's when you'll find out just how strong you really are. This is a process, and you have to hurt just a little bit so you can understand what it means to be strong. So don't give up on your hopes. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on yourself. just keep moving forward. If you think that you're going through something so bad right now, wait until tomorrow if tomorrow comes for you. Look at the person next to you. Look at people all over the world if you ever come in contact with certain individuals. And ask yourself, are they going through a lot more than what I'm going through? Because honestly, there are always going to be people that are going through a lot more than you're going through right now.
My name is Sarah Wells, and I'm an Olympic athlete. I competed in the 400-meter hurdles at the London Olympics, and yes, that was a highlight. But my dark patch came 4 years later, when the Olympics came back around, and everyone expected me to qualify again, and I didn't. I felt like such a failure. I thought my friends wouldn't like me anymore. I thought the entire world was about to be flipped upside down.
When you're down, find a way to get up. I've been there. I go through it like anybody else. But I have a job to do in this world. And so do you.
You too may have had a goal in mind, an idea of what success looked like. And for whatever reason, that goal might have evaporated in front of your eyes. That's what I felt. Sometimes it can be easier to just live in that dark place because the strength required to climb back out is a lot. A lot of effort, a lot of time, and honestly, it feels completely out of reach. But you know what? It's not. It is possible to get back up again. Minute by minute, choice by choice, we can move farther away from the thing that set us back. We can dust ourselves off and rise back up. By crawling out of the darkness of difficulty, we learn a lot about our own strength. We're able to do what we thought was impossible. And we use what's inside of us to grow stronger, braver. We're wise from those experiences too. We now know what it takes to overcome. Every time life knocks us down, we can choose to get back up. We become a better version of ourselves. A version that knows pain, a version that knows struggle, but a version that has lived through and knows the beauty of coming out on the other side. It gets better. You get better. The struggle is worth it. So pick yourself back up and keep going. Life is difficult and messy, but through the struggle comes beautiful, powerful things.
To each one of you that is listening to this message, understand the pain, the struggles, and all of the things that you felt that are holding you back. It's not going to hold you back for very long. Because as long as you are alive, you have to continue to move on. You have to continue to live. You can't allow the misery and the hurt and the pain hold you back to a position where you can't move forward. Because as long as there's life in that body, you got things that you need to get done. The reality is, we cannot go on forever, but we must go on. We can't live forever, but we must continue to live. We must fight for something. Don't fight for nothing. Live and breathe and fight and believe and understand that it's not over for you. It's not over for you because you are still here. So make the most of your life. Honor those that are no longer here with us. Make sure you're leaving the mark. Make sure you're leaving the legacy. So when your time comes, your legacy can be left to the next generation. So keep up the good fight. It's not over for me, and it shouldn't be over for you. Carry on. Live strong. Keep it moving. No matter how strong, no matter how tough you think you are, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna feel that sense of emptiness. You're gonna feel that sense of loss. But the best thing about losing is to grow, is to feel it, is to understand it, is to fight through it. It's nothing on earth can stop your purpose if you just hold on to it. So I live not just for me, not just for my family, not just for the people that look to me, but I do it to honor my parents. It feels not the best of me right now because I don't have that mother to talk to. I don't have that father to talk to or to give advice. It's just me now. The people that mattered in my life, the people that gave me life are no longer in this world, but they exist in my heart. They give me a reason that they left a legacy for me to carry on. This doesn't mean that it's the end of me. It means that I have work to do. It means that I have to continue to push and go harder and go stronger. It means that I have to stay focused. It means that I have to stay faithful.
How did you get your mindset into this alter ego to be comfortable being Black Mamba?
I switched my mind to something else. I switched my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus, Decimus, Meridius, and Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character, right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me, don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.
The definition of work. What is the definition of work? Activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result.
Working hard is the cost of entry of winning. You know nobody on earth that's made it that didn't work hard.
There's a point in time where you have to absolutely get up and stand on your own 2 feet and say, this is the way in which I want to leave my impact on the world.
Every day trying to be better and trying to improve yourself by 1 or 2%. Fulfill things, set yourself a couple of tasks, do or die tasks a day, get them done. Feel better, move on to the next thing.
I mean, this is work.
I don't know your vision. I don't know your mission. I don't know what you want to be. I don't know who you want to be. I don't know how big you want to build. I don't know how big of a legacy you want to leave. I don't know your vision. I don't know your standards.
I want to take calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. For us to set goals and not achieve them, it's on us. There has to be a burning desire inside of us to do more, be more, and become more.
I heard someone once say that greatness is within you, but it's dormant, it's bottled up, just waiting for the moment to unleash and show the world how great you really are.
Yeah, you gotta lead by example. You gotta show them. And that's what I tried to do.
So think of your first week of classes as your opportunity to establish positive momentum.
It was an everyday process and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses.
I didn't want anybody to be able to say, well, he's not willing to do the work.
So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become better. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
Imagine if you wrote it down, you knew you were going to achieve it. Imagine if there was no procrastination in the things that we do. Imagine for a moment if you were someone who went out and executed on the things that you said you were going to do, because self-commitment is something that you absolutely have written on your heart. Like, what if we were the people who absolutely operated on the words that we told ourselves?
You know, you want to be a little bit better in some way tomorrow than you are today, but it's not going to be in a linear path. Again, these go through cycles of stress and recovery. If you're doing your best, if you're really laying it out there, there's nothing more you can do. I'm doing my best, and there's nothing more than that.